and welcome to another edition of the Digital Learning Lab. We're so grateful that you paused in your day to join us for this wonderful session talking about Google Slides. We have two incredible presenters here that are going to be presenting to you today, Danielle and Ryan. Are you guys ready?
I think we are, Stephen.
All
are
right,
ready.
ladies, it is so good to see you in this pandemic. You've
Good to
been off
see you
what since
too.
about March?
I know.
It's
Right, right.
crazy.
It is crazy. Well, we don't want to hold the audience long, with our chatter, right? So we're gonna just turn you over, and you all have a great and wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We are ready. This is super exciting that it's the summer and we're still going to be doing the Digital Learning Lab. So we're excited to be here. And
Yes.
today we're going to be talking about mastering Google Slides. I know that this is one of Miss Davis and my favorite tools in Google. So we're super excited about this, but we're going to teach you how to be a ninja and kind of slice up Google Slides by messing with your master slide. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to share with you what we're going to be doing today. All right, so we are going to be showing mastering Google Slides. And before we do that, as you probably remember, we have a couple different ways that we can help you as you're going through this presentation with us, because we want to make sure that you are learning as you're going through. So I'm going to show you how you can have a couple little tips to make learning with us a little bit easier today. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to talk about how we can pause and rewind. So I'm going to go live to our friends that did this last week. Look at how fun they were in their summer gear, but there they are. So if you were watching this with us, let's pretend this was us. You could always come in here and you would just click play. And of course, pause it. If you need to stop and try something, you can always pause us. You can also scrub backwards by just clicking on this and dragging it backwards, or to catch up, you can always drag it forward. Okay, another thing that you can do is over here on the right side, you have the settings. If you click on that gear, you'll see that you can change the playback speed. So if you want it normal, it can be normal. You can slow us down because sometimes we may tend to talk fast, or you may think we talk slowly, so you could always speed us up. Just don't go like to the 2, because then I think we sound kind of chipmunky. But it does help you catch up if you kind of get behind. So that is there for you as well. We also have a question form down here at the bottom. So in the description, it says questions, and you'll see a link here. When you click on that, it'll bring you to a form where you put in your name and your question. As we're going through our presentation today, either Ms. Davis or I will be monitoring to see if you have any questions. So make sure that you are putting those in there for us. And let's see, lastly, I want to show you how to do picture in picture. This is really important so that you can actually go into Google Slides and do this while still watching us. So to do that, when you're in YouTube, you're going to right click and you're going to get this black screen here, and then just right click again, and you're going to choose, hold on one second, right click again, picture in picture. And there it is. Okay, notice that this is now its own separate screen, so you can move it around. You can even resize it if you want to make it a little bit larger. Just remember to leave that tab open. So you can see up here at the top, that tab is still open. It needs to stay open, but you could open a new tab on top of it and you will be able to work with us right there. Okay, when you're ready to be back on just YouTube, you can open it right here and it'll take you back to live screen. So those are just a couple little helpful tips that you can use as we are going through our presentation today. And I think that we are just about ready to get started. Ms. Davis, are you ready?
Yes, I'm so excited. So let me go ahead and show you guys my screen. So right here, I have a blank tab open. So in order to get to, I just want to start with a new slide, blank, clean slate, ready to go. So I'm just going to come up to the search bar or the Omni bar, and I'm going to type in slides.new, and it's going to take me right into a brand new slides presentation. Now, the cool thing that Slides does is it kind of gives me these themes, like these ideas of kind of how I could style these slides if I wanted. But I'm not gonna lie, not a huge fan of what they have because there's just a lot of color. And I want to add like a picture in my background. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to go into the master slides and I'm going to mess around in there so I don't have to keep editing and adding these pictures to my slides as I go. So here's how I get there. I'm going to go to View, Master. And this shows me, so here's my master slide. Like this is the slide that if I edit or make any changes here, it's going to make that change on all of my slide layouts down here. So let me show you what I mean. First off, I always like to select everything that's on this slide and I just get rid of it because I like a completely clean slate to start designing on. So I want to show you guys how we made the slide that we did for our background, for our opener where we're mastering our Google Slides. So I actually Googled a star background. So I had star background and then I added Pixabay on the end because what that tells me is all of these images that have Pixabay on them, those are free for me to use. And I don't have to worry about copyright or anything like that. So I have this really cool background that I found and I love, it's just really pretty. So I'm gonna right click on this. I'm going to select copy image, come back to my presentation, and I'm going to paste that image right here. So you see how when I pasted it here on this master, it added it to all of my layouts. So I need to stretch this out. And I always make mine a little bit bigger than the actual slide. So that way I don't have any border or lines around it. And I know that it takes up the entire slide. So now that I have my really cool background, I want to add some word art to it. So let me show you if I were to add word art on this master slide, what it does. So I'm going to go to Insert, Word Art. And our first word was mastering. So you see how I have this word mastering right here on this slide? I don't need it on every slide. So I'm actually going to jump off the master and I'm just going to come to this layout right here. So this is one of the title layouts that you get whenever you first start in slides. And so I'm going to edit just this one because I don't want everything showing up. So again, I'm going to go to Word Art, go to Mastering, and then we also had Google in here, and that was actually a picture. So I searched Google PNG. So why I added that PNG is because that makes my background transparent. Now, just because I see these checkers does not necessarily mean that it's always going to be transparent. So here's a good way to kind of check. You just kind of have to play with it. So I'm going to copy this image and let's keep fingers crossed that it's not transparent. You see what that happened?
That happens.
It does. It's
sometimes.
Like you have to find the ones that are actually transparent.
Yes.
So I have a backup. Here's an actual transparent one.
That was like magic.
I know.
It was like very fantastic.
I always have like plan A, B, C, D, and E, right? You have to. So just keep that in mind whenever you are looking for transparent images. You might find one that has the checkers behind it, but it's not actually transparent. So, I mean, just know it could happen. It's a possibility. So here's a trick that I like to use. I like to duplicate my word art. That makes them the same size, the same font, everything. So I'm going to edit this one first, and then I'm going to duplicate it to make my second word art.
So Ms. Davis, how come you didn't just say mastering slides all as one instead of doing it twice?
That's a really good question, Ms. Ames. Let me show you. I'm a really visual person, so let me show you what it does. So if I double click in here and I add the word slides, do you see how that is now one image? I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
split them up. So I really want the word, like in my mind, when I'm looking at this, I want mastering up here, Google, and then slides down here. So if I added them together in the same piece of word art, it doesn't let me move them separately. I have to move them together, and that's just not what I'm looking for right now. So I am not a huge fan of Arial. Ms. Hames, what about you?
No, unfortunately, I'm not. It's
No,
just pretty boring.
it is. I mean, there's just so many fonts out there that are pretty. So let's go with this one because it's nice and bold. And then I'm going to resize just a little bit. I'm going to change the color. Now, here's the really cool thing that I like to do. So I really want to match this blue in the Google logo that I have. So there's a really cool way that I can do that. And I have to add an extension. So let me show you how I add this extension. So I'm going to open up a new tab and I'm going to type in color pick eyedropper. Color pick is one word, eyedropper is one word. And here it is in my Chrome web store. I'm going to click add to Chrome, add extension. And then once it comes up here, it pops up here. Now here's one thing that we noticed the other day. You see how it disappeared? Like it, I don't know
Where is it? Yeah, I saw you at it.
like, I know it's there. So here's what a little digging kind of brought up. So I call this a splat because that's what it looks like. It looks like a splat of paint. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a puzzle piece. But I'm going to click on this, and here are all of my extensions that I have downloaded or clipped onto my Chrome. And here is Color Pick Eyedropper. So I want this to be really quick and easy for me to find. So I'm going to pin this extension with the rest of mine. So now it's there and it's really fast and I can just select it.
I love that. That makes things so much easier.
Yes, and believe me, when it first disappeared, I was really confused. I had no idea where that extension went. So I'm going to select my color pick eyedropper, and it should give me some crosshairs. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to select the blue right here. I'm going to copy this number. And then because I am new to using this extension, Ms. Hames, how do I get those crosshairs away?
If you just hit escape, they will go away.
Yep, they're gone. Okay. Awesome. So now I want to use that blue in my word mastering. So I'm going to come up here to my paint bucket, and then I'm going to select custom. So now I can paste those numbers in. They're going to, oh, it didn't pick it up. Let's see if I add that pound sign in front of it. My hex code isn't working, Mrs. Hames.
Maybe just try one more time.
Let's see. There we go.
It goes.
Yes. Okay.
I was trying to trick you. It didn't want us to master this.
Right. That's not nice. So I really want these words to pop. I want them to stand out from this background that I have. So I'm actually going to change the border color as well. I'm going to change that to white. I'm going to change the weight to 3. So now it really stands out against this background. So like I was saying earlier, I like to duplicate this because now I have everything kind of set the way I want. So on my keyboard, I've highlighted the word mastering, and I'm going to hit Control D on my keyboard. So Control D is in dog. And now I have it, and it just duplicated it. It made a copy right there for me. So I can double click in here, and I need to change this word to slides. And then as much as I love blue, and we all know that I love blue and teal, all things teal.
I think that we got that. For sure.
Maybe. I mean, I might have to wear my teal shirt next week.
All the time.
All the time. All the teal all the time. But I mean, I love it. But I kind of want to use this yellow for the word slides because I also know that the icon for slides is yellow. So kind of it's that color kind of keying telling me like, oh yeah, I'm in slides. Everything is yellow.
I love that idea. And it's nice that you can do that because you put them in as separate word arts. If you had kept them together, you wouldn't have been able to do that, correct?
Right. That's another reason why I like to use, I split up my words a lot using word art. So I'm going to come back up here to my color pick eyedropper. I'm going to get those crosshairs again, select that yellow. I'm going to copy and hit escape to get out of that. So I have slides selected, come up to the paint bucket, go to custom. Now I need to get rid of this. And there's my yellow. And so now I can kind of mess with where they are located on this slide. So I have my word art. We've inserted a few images in here. Now I really want this to like be very clear that this is slides. And I know that they have an icon or a logo that goes with it. So I'm going to insert image and I'm just going to search the web right inside of slides because it's just super easy to find pictures that way. So slides, logo, PNG. And there's the exact one that I want. Fingers crossed that this is, transparent. We didn't have luck the first time. Yes,
Yay.
It is. That is like one of the best feelings in the world. Wanting a transparent image and it coming in transparent.
It actually worked, yes.
I love it. So I'm going to do one more thing, and I'm actually going to do this on my master slide because I want everyone to know that the amazing Cypress-Fairbanks EdTech Department is working on this and doing becoming master slides people. So I'm going to come up here to text box, and I'm just going to insert a new text box. And I'm going to type in Cypress-Fairbanks EdTech. Now, can you see that?
Uh-oh, I was just going to say, are you typing? I can't really see anything.
I know. So I need to change my font color for sure.
Yes.
So I'm going to come up here to text color. Let's try white. Boom.
There, that looks much better.
And then I don't like
silly Arial.
It's still Arial. That's like their default. That's what they go to. So what if we tried this Atma? And then maybe medium. Let's see. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that looks nice.
I like that. It's just cute. And then I'm going to throw it up here in the top corner. So you can see these red lines that it's giving me. That's telling me where the end of my slide is. Because remember, at the very beginning, I stretched this image beyond where that slide was. So now I can tell that this is in the corner. So whenever I select new slides, it's always there. Like it's not going away. And
I love that. Yes.
One more thing that I noticed as I was messing with that coloring, this is really dark. What do you think, Mrs. Haynes?
Yeah, it's a little bit dark. I mean, I can see that white standing out really nicely, but when you were on the slide with the mastering Google Slides, it was a little bit hard to see the Google.
It is. So there's a trick that I can do to kind of bring that, kind of tone it down a little bit. So I'm on my master because remember, when I want it to edit everywhere, I want to be on that master slide. So I'm going to select this image. I'm going to come up here to format options and I'm going to adjust it. So I like to mess with the transparency and I'm going to, what about there?
I think that looks better. Yeah.
Yeah, that does. And you can actually clearly tell like where my slide is because it's only messing with where it is on the slide. It's not changing where it is beyond that. So
that's interesting. I don't think I ever knew that happened.
I love messing with slides.
Yes, that's really neat.
Because it's like you learn something new every single time you mess with them.
For sure.
So that is, I mean, I like how this looks. Minus this whole number sign, but that is within this layout. And so if I wanted to get rid of that, I totally could just gone. No worries, it is gone. I don't have to worry about having that number sign anymore.
That looks awesome. I love it.
I just love this look anyways. So it's definitely, I like having the ability to change the master and not have to, now I don't have to go in and edit every single slide to look exactly how I want it. Like I have my background set, I have this set, so that when I come out of here, like I can't even mess with that Cypress-Fairbanks EdTech up here. Like it is built into that slide.
Well, and I'm thinking that's nice too. Like if we were to build something for somebody else to use, that way they're not accidentally moving things that they shouldn't be moving because they can't unless they go into the edit master. So it kind of like preserves it nice and safe there so nobody can mess with the integrity of what it looks like.
Exactly. I love that.
I do. That looks great.
Yes. So I am all for building slides from, scratch, but I'm also a firm believer in the motto, work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
So is there a way, Miss Hames, for us to, work smarter, not harder?
Yeah, you know what's funny is that when I first started working with slides a lot, I did exactly what you did. To be honest, I didn't even used to use the master. I used to go in and build each slide individually and change the font every time and everything else. And, looking back now, I'm like, why in the world did I spend so much time? Like I wasted so much time building my slides the hard way. So master slides definitely help, but I found something that's even easier. So I'm going to show you today a place where you can get some already made templates and you still have the ability to edit them, but the hard part is done for you. So this is going to blow your mind. So just wait till you see. So I'm going to talk about Slides Mania today, and there's also another one called Slides Carnival. Both of these are great websites that allow you to get pre-made templates that you can already use. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to go here to Slides Mania. Okay, it's just slidesmania.com. And if you go to Google and type in Slides Mania, it's going to come up for you. But as you can see here, there are lots of different choices up at the top. So if I knew I was looking for something for school, like there's different kinds of notebooks or there's manipulatives. I know some math friends that might like to use those manipulative slides. There's also choice boards, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so I could kind of go through and choose what I want. If I was looking for a certain color, let's say I really wanted a teal or blue colored slide, I could go here and choose by colors. But as I choose my heading, as I scroll down, you can see that there are all of these templates that are already created. And look at how cute that is. Oh, our pre-K friends would probably love that. This is Google through and through. Okay, so if
Yes.
I was doing something with Google, look, all the colors are already there. You wouldn't have had to use your color pick eyedropper because you would have already had the colors. But I can scroll down and there's lots here, but I'm looking for one that kind of looks like summer because believe it or not, it is the summer. I know that the school year kind of blurred right into the summer, but believe it or not, it is the summer. So I want to pretend in my slides that it truly is summer. So I'm looking for something that looks kind of summery. So let me know if you see something that you think would.
I mean, I like to surf.
I was going to say,
Granted, there's not huge waves in Galveston.
no. That's very sad for this girl that used to live in New Jersey and Maryland, where we actually have waves and like beautiful, beautiful beaches. But Galveston is
Yeah.
very nice too. Just doesn't have the waves, like you said.
That
But
is true.
I'm going to go ahead and choose this one because we're going to pretend. We're going to dream that we are in some beautiful beach somewhere with waves where I would be able to surf. So if I wanted to choose this, I'm just going to select on it. And then you'll see as I scroll down, it's telling me a little bit about this presentation. And then here I have a little preview. So I could kind of scroll through and see what they look like and be like, oh, that looks really cool. I know that if Miss Davis was to build this like she just did, how long would that take you?
I mean, probably a good day.
Yeah.
To be honest,
To
because
build
I'm a
all of those different
perfectionist.
slides for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if we can make this a little easier. So what I'm going to do, if you are a PowerPoint user, just so you know, you could download a PowerPoint template as well. But I'm going to stick over here on the Google side and I'm going to download the Google Slides theme. So when I click on that, it's going to open up in a new tab. Okay, and you'll notice something a little different. Up here in the top right corner, it says Use Template. So I'm going to click on Use Template, and what it's doing is it's creating a copy in my drive for me to use. So it's already ready for me to use. Notice it came in, it's called Summer Slides Mania. Okay, if I wanted to change that, I would just click up there and I can backspace and get out of there. I don't know why my computer's a little slow. Okay, so I'm going to go to, I'm just going to say summer wishes. There you go. All right, so look at this. As I scroll through, I have let's see, 20 different choices of slides. And notice that they are all a little bit different, okay, for the different types of slides that I might need. Okay, so it's all there ready for me to use, but I'm going to do something kind of crazy. I'm going to click on Control A and I'm going to select all of those slides and I'm going to right click and I am going to delete them.
Wait, but why? Why did you just, everything was done?
I know, all that hard work, right? And I'm like, nah, forget it. I'm going to take the hard way and I'm going to recreate what I just saw. That's what I think I should do. I'm going to try to recreate exactly what I saw. No.
Have fun.
That might take a little while. I wonder if everyone would still keep hanging out with us as we rebuild that whole thing.
I don't know. I might like randomly, oh no, my internet failed.
All of a sudden it's gone.
Yep.
All right, well, don't worry because it is still there. Believe it or not, you can't see it, but it is still there. So I'm going to go in up here a little bit different way than Ms. Davis did. I'm going to go to slide and I'm going to go to edit master. And when I go to edit master, ta-da, I know. Isn't that cool? And I saw you do the other way. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that. So learning new things as we go. So that's why it's good that we do this. But if you look here, look, all of my slides are still here. So that's something to think about. There's a big difference between when you're editing your master slide and when you're editing your actual presentation. So you need to think that those two things are very separate. So right now I'm in the edit master. I know that because I get this black box around there and I can see the master up here at the top and then all of the different layouts. Okay, and like Miss Davis said up here at the top, this is your main master. So anything I do on this slide here is going to change on every single one of these slides. So let's say, even though that is a very, very beautiful color of sky, I want to change that to something just a little bit different. So to change the background, I can just right click, not on a text box. There you go. And I'm going to go to change background. And then notice here, it tells me what color it is, but if I click on that down arrow, I can choose any of these colors, or I can come over here to the gradient, which is kind of fun. Gradient just has different colors and you can even customize it here by clicking on custom and making it so that maybe the circle's in the center. Maybe instead of gray, I want it to be white, okay, or different things. So I can change things as I'm going through. And then I would click on OK. Wait for it. Is it stuck?
I saw it change in the background.
There we go. Okay. It's just, it was tricking me. Oh, that looks like a very stormy sky. That is definitely not how I would want my beach to look. Would you like to go there when the beach was stormy sky? No.
Absolutely not.
So let's go back into that gradient and let's choose a beautiful blue color instead. So I'm going to choose that and I'm going to click on edit. So now, as you can see, that beautiful blue sky is now on all of my slides. And I like the way it looks with the gradient because it almost looks like the sun's kind of reflecting off of the water there. So I think that makes it look really nice. The other thing I want to do on the main master slide is I want to make sure that I like all of the text that's going to show up, because remember when Miss Davis was building hers and she kept saying, oh no, Arial keeps coming back. Well, if you want that not to happen, what you can do is kind of like she did, is we're just going to select. You can select as many as you want by holding down the shift. I'm just going to select to the 8th level. I highly doubt I will get to the 8th level. I don't think I ever get past like the 3rd level, but I'm going to select them all. And then I can come up here and change that font. So if I really, really like, let's see, this Andika font, I could choose that. I could also go up here to more fonts, and I have all of the fun Google fonts in here that I could choose from. Okay, so Poppins is a really fun one. Let's say I wanted to choose that one. I would click on it and it would come over here to now be a part of my fonts. And when I click on OK, I'm going to come up here and now Poppins is going to be one of my choices. It's just a little far down there. And I could choose if I want it to be semi-bold or bold. I'm going to choose semi-bold. So now you can see that it's changed on all of those levels, but it's also changed here as well. So all of my different layouts have all changed to that particular style, okay, because I wanted it. If I wanted to add a new text box, if I clicked up here and added a new text box, it's going to come in as, see up here, I'll make it big so you can see it. It came in as Poppins. So that's going to,
like
again,
that.
just be a little bit of a time saver because you're not going to have to change your font every single time. Okay, so that's kind of fun. Now, just like Miss Davis said, if I wanted to add something that's going to be on every single slide, I would want to add it up here to the first slide, to that master slide. So if I wanted to, let's say, add a logo, okay, we have a EdTech logo that we put on a lot of our stuff. So I have that downloaded. It's waiting down here patiently for me to bring it up. So I'm just going to kind of click and drag because I had it on my clipboard. And I can put that in there, but it is so large. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag and make it a lot smaller. Now, remember, there's lots and lots of different ways that you can get images into your slides. Okay, that's just one way. If you know where it is, if it's on your downloads bar, you can always bring it in, or you can always come up here to the top and insert an image. But because I put that on the master, it's going to show on every single slide. Okay, so that's kind of fun. But now I don't want to make a change on every single slide for this particular one. I want to change the color of this surfboard, but I couldn't do that here on my main master. So I'm going to come here to this one. And because really this is just somebody has created this beautiful slides for me, as I click around, you can see that it's highlighting certain things. So if I wanted this surfboard, instead of being red, maybe I want it to be a purple surfboard. Okay, I could change it there. Okay, so notice that it changed everywhere that there was a surfboard. Okay, so there it was. There's my surfboard. Okay, so I could go through and I could edit all of these different slides. If I wanted to change the starfish maybe and make it a different color, I could do that as well. So I could mess with all of these different slides and change them to look the way that I want. But I'm pretty happy with how it looks right now. Okay, so I'm going to click on this X and I'm going to get rid of it. Oh no, everything's gone again. It's okay, because now this is how you're going to add your slides in. So when I come up here to the plus sign, I could just add a new slide, but right next to it, there's a little arrow. When I click on that arrow, look at this. I have all of those beautiful slides that I have created. So hard I worked on them. And they have my logo on it and everything. So if I wanted to add this title slide back, I could just click on it and there is my title ready to add. So I could say summertime 2020. Okay, I could change this, I can move it around. So now it's truly just a presentation that I can manipulate and kind of move through. So isn't that fun?
I love that. I mean, that looks like you spent hours creating that.
Yep. And that's what I want people to think. I want them to think that I am like the slides guru that worked so hard on this. But really, whoever created these on Slides Mania, she certainly is a slides guru. But
Yes.
as I want to add more, I'm just going to keep coming here to this down arrow and I can just kind of go through and choose the different slides that I want. Okay. Now remember, just like we said before, that if I look here and I'm like, oh no, that logo is behind the surfboard. I need to move it. If I'm trying as hard as I can to click on this, I can't move it. Okay, I just can't. I would have to go back into slide and go back into edit the master, and I would have to find this master slide where I put it, and I would have to move it or make it a little bit smaller. So that's something that sometimes gets a little bit confusing because you have to remember what you changed on your master and what you've actually changed in your presentation. So typically I try to just set up my master with the basics of what I know I'm going to want on every single slide. And then as I'm making my changes to the individual slides, I'm actually doing that on the slide. Okay, so just remember, you can toggle back and forth between the two, but they are, kind of different. All right, the last thing I want to show you, because I think it's just fun and I want to show off my presentation skills just a little bit more. So I'm going to add something called an animated GIF. Okay, and yes, I said GIF. There's a
Not GIF.
not GIF. Okay, and I think that one of our team members has coined it as the GUGIF because the
That was
argument
our
is done.
compromise.
Yes, we don't want to keep fighting over that, but we're going to try to add an animated GIF. And what that means is it's just something that is moving on your slide. Okay, so I can make this really fancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google Images. And to do that, you would just type in images.google.com and you're going to get your search bar right here. So I'm just going to type in animated starfish GIF. Whoops, not Nemo. GIF. Okay, and then when I put that in, you'll see that I get all of these choices here. Okay, up at the top, I see something that I remember Miss Davis talking about. We want things to be transparent. We don't want to see that yucky white box behind our beautiful work. Okay, so I'm going to click on transparent to make sure that I'm only getting images that are transparent. And I'm going to kind of peek through there and I'm going to choose one that I like. So I think this one's kind of cute. So I'm going to click on that and it's going to open it over here on the side. Okay, now it looks like it's going to be transparent, right? It has those little gray and white squares, so I think it's going to be transparent. But when Miss Davis did it, she did the right click and she just did copy image. But I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go down one more and I'm going to do copy image address. Okay, so again, I right clicked and I'm going to do copy image address. Now it's hanging out on my clipboard and I'm going to go back to my presentation. And right here, I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to scroll down to image and then over to by URL. Okay, because I copied the image address. So image by URL, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste that in. Woohoo! It looks like it's transparent because I don't see any gray and white boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to click on insert. And when I do that, my giant starfish comes in. I'm going to grab the corners and I'm going to make that smaller and I'm going to just kind of move it over here. Okay, so now that I have that, I could just Control D and duplicate it and put these moving starfish wherever I want them. Okay, if, not there. Guess I have to do it again. So if I go to a new slide, I'm going to go to insert image by URL and I could paste it in there as well. So it looks like it only likes to do it on one slide at a time. Okay, but I could just kind of jazz it up. Now remember, I'm doing this individually on the slide. I did not put it on the master. If I were to put it on the master, I could have that moving starfish on every single slide. It just depends on what I want. Okay, so how cool is that? Doesn't that jazz up my presentation even more?
Definitely. And I'm curious, I wonder, Mrs. Hames, if you were to I like how you have it selected right now. If you were to do copy and paste, I wonder if that could be another way to make that starfish on multiple slides.
Let's try it.
Instead of duplicating it.
Yeah, let's try. Copy and Control V. Yep. There it is. There you go. That was a good hack. Thank you so much. That's perfect. So yes, instead of duplicating it, we could just copy and paste. So that is good to know.
Yes. So there are a few ways to make multiples of things that you have.
Yep. So just remember that that is there. So remember that one is called Slides Mania, and there are tons and tons of presentation templates there for you. And then there's also Slides Carnival, which is very similar. Okay, we're not going to go through all this because it's exactly the same steps. You would click on the one you want, you would choose the template, and you would kind of go through. Okay, so now I think that we have two pretty fantastic starts to our presentations. But how do I share this if I want to share this with someone and show off my skills?
That's a really good question. So let me go ahead and show you how I would share my presentation with you, Mrs. Hames. And then I also have some really good ideas of how to use this, not just online, but also download. So like if I wanted to print this out as a poster or a handout or anything like that, like there are ways. It's fun.
Awesome.
Okay.
I love it.
Right. I love Google because you can do a lot with it.
That's the truth.
So if I wanted to share this presentation, so if Mrs. Hames and I were working on this together, if we were in a group, I would come up here to this share button. And what it does typically is it restricts it to just people that I add. So I could start typing in Mrs. Hames. There we go. And I could add her to it. Or here's a second way that I could do the exact same thing. I can change this so that it makes it anyone in CFISD can view. And then I can copy this link and I can send that link to Mrs. Hames. So there are two different ways to share this slides presentation. I can type in her name and email it to her, or I can grab the link and share it with her that way.
So could I work on that with you? Like, could we work together and try to build something?
You totally, yep, we totally could.
Cool. So you would just have to give me editing rights instead of viewing rights, I'm guessing.
Right. So if I came back up here to share, and let me go ahead and type in your name again.
Oh, man.
Right. So you see how it says editor right here?
Yes, yes.
So that means that you can actually edit this, or if I were to send you just the link, I'm going to change this from viewer to editor. So
Awesome.
now you would be able to edit this with me.
Perfect. I love it.
Yes, because working together is
I was
always
going to
better.
say, I think that together we probably could come up with some pretty amazing slides.
Yes, for sure. So if we wanted to, especially with the layout, the template that you used, Mrs. Hames, I could totally see putting, inserting images onto that and then wanting to print it out to like make a photo album.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a really cool thing to do. And then I wouldn't have to worry about like snipping images. I could crop them to a fun shape or anything like that. And then once I get all that done, I can come here to file and download. So I would be taking that slides template, the slides presentation you did, and I would be downloading it to my computer so that way I could print it. So if I was going to do that, I think I would go between a PDF or PNGs. And that would be the whole, I could download everything and it would download straight to my computer. So I did a PDF for this one, and here is my slide. And it's going to download all slides for me, and I can just print them right from here.
I love that, because there's so many ways that you could use that. If you had it, you could take it and put it in another slide if you wanted to. You could actually print it out and hang it up somewhere to show off. So I love that.
Exactly. So I think, I'm trying to think of if there's any other fun things to do with sharing these slides with you, Mrs. Hames, because I know I definitely would love to have your help with collaborating on them. And then
Yes.
once we were done, we could totally download them and keep them as a poster or make like a summer yearbook kind of thing.
Yep, that's true. And then we would also remember to kind of organize it inside of our drive, because at least like mine, I know when I get it directly from Slides Mania, it just puts it in my drive and I have to figure out like, uh-oh, where did it go? And maybe I might need to move it to a folder. So once you get all those things shared with you, you can also move them around. So that's super exciting. But I don't know, I'm feeling pretty good about what we've done today. I think that we have shown a couple different ways that you could master those Google Slides. What do you think?
Absolutely. I love slides because it makes me look like a really good like graphic designer almost.
Exactly. It's kind of like what you feel like. You're like, ooh, look how fancy I am.
Yes.
So, but that's awesome. So hopefully some of the things that we showed you today are going to help you with creating some pretty fantastic presentations. Okay. And remember to always work smarter, not harder. Okay. So that's what
Definitely.
the master slide does for you. It allows you to change the slide color. It allows you to change your text. You can even grab some cool templates. So remember to always try to make your life as easy as possible by doing things the smart way. Okay. So next week, I think that we're trading partners again. So I think that Miss Davis will be back with Miss Gilpatrick, and they're
Yes.
going to be showing you some of the brand new features in WeVideo, because I was shocked. But tell me what you're going to be doing next week.
Yeah, so there are a couple new features in WeVideo and they're really cool. One is making GIFs, and it's right there on WeVideo dashboard, and podcasting.
So you're telling me I could make my very own like animated starfish that I went to Google and searched for? I could make something myself? I
Absolutely.
could make like myself like laying there on the beach,
Yeah.
moving.
Yes. Having
Yes.
like a dance party.
I would be like with a towel and like a parka and everything for sure.
Nice big sun hat.
Yes, yes, that's for sure. But yes, we could absolutely do that. So that sounds awesome. I think I'm for sure going to tune in because I want to learn all about that. That sounds great. So I'm hoping some of our friends that joined us today will be able to join you guys next week on Thursday, July 2nd. I can't even believe I just said that it's going to be July 2nd
I know.
already. It
I
feels
know.
like, yeah, it's like all the days are running together. But July 2nd, they are going to be doing a WeVideo new features. So join us back then. We appreciate you coming in on your summer break and joining us. And we hope that you have learned a couple ways to master those Google Slides. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye, guys.